how much more evil can it get? So people, they ask, why is there a homeless problem? Why are there so many homeless people? Meanwhile, they relegate the task of helping others and caring about others and mental health to anybody besides them. And this is everybody. And then they wonder why Christians warn them about hell and tell them about the good truth of Jesus and all his wonderful truth. Do you ever wonder why people act so wickedly towards Christians? And nobody says, wait a second, you shouldn't discriminate against that person for their religion. No, what happens is more people pile on. They pile on the insults, they pile on the hatred. Because when you love a person enough to tell them, hey, you're headed off the cliff. See, what they have to do is they say, no, you're deceived, you're blind. And they'll say all manner of evil against you falsely. You see, they're too proud. But you can really see who's on the right side. It says, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So, the people who have love in them, they're going to be presenting God's love. The only true love and goodness and light in this world. And they're going to show that to the lost world. But what is the lost world going to do? Well, they can't begin to believe what you believe, because if that were the case, it would mean coming to terms with the fact that their entire life is a lie, that most of the people that they know who have either died or will die ultimately should have never been born, because they're going to eventually choose the side of dying in unbelief, which means choosing the side of burning in hell for eternity, which means choosing the fate of you shouldn't have been born in the first place. Because what you did your whole life was you badmouthed Christians, you ganged up on Christians at every possible point in your life. So when a person was loving enough to witness to you, what you said was how bad they were. You said that they're the reason that you don't believe in Christianity. No matter how loving or straightforward or factual or truthful, there's no way that you can present Christianity to people without you being a bad witness. See, it's not the messenger they hate, it's the message. But they hate the messenger too because of the message. Because the message points to something that's so true. That's so ultimately true, eternally true. The fact that God is what is so important. God is our Savior. He's the one who preserves our soul. He's the one who will judge us. And the people who don't know this, they will literally hate you for showing them love. It says, they rewarded me hatred for my love. It talks about being hated without a cause. So people need to stop and think, why? Why is it okay to discriminate against Christians? Is it because they have a zeal and there's actually a message to preach? A valid message that human beings need? Oh, there's also prophetic proof. So the more I go on in my life, the more I understand that the Bible is true. I mean, I've understood this the moment I believed it. That's why I believed it. So ask yourself, why would I be willing to trade off a life of pleasantry and friendship for a life of being persecuted, mocked, and losing friendships if I didn't truly believe it. And why would I truly believe it and trade off all the good things in life that a person basically lives for? A person who doesn't know God, that is. Why would I trade off all these wonderful things in life that everybody does want deep down for life of persecution and being hated by old friends and new? Never making new friends, that is. Especially not people who claim to be Christian. It's such a deep hole that's been dug in society, and anybody who's actually a genuine believer in Christianity, it's literally perfectly okay to mock them, to kick them while they're down, to make fun of them for being homeless, for being poor. And then you wonder why a person like me may have had some struggles, because it really does tie into the fact that I was born in Christian Ridge Pottery, and I had the word Christian in my life, throughout my life growing up. It was the greatest blessing. And I was also in a part of the earth where I was able to see the goodness of the Lord and experience it. It says that the earth is the Lord's and all the fullness thereof. For the earth is the Lord's and all the fullness thereof. It says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. And it says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And I spent a lot of time looking at the stars, my house up in Maine, beautiful place, and at the sun and the moon. And then when I started to read the Bible, the world started to make a lot more sense. Some of these big questions that I couldn't even bring myself to ask, I knew the answer to. So why are the stars in their perfect patterns? Well, Genesis 1:14 talks about this. It says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years. See, for me to care enough about your soul to tell you information that you can clearly, objectively find out and see on your own, and then deal with people who are going to be evil, who are going to target me, go out of their way purposefully to try to scare me out of being willing to continue to preach to people, and trying to just beat me into submission through their evil words, because they fear my words. You see, this is why they do that. They are truly scared of hearing what I believe, and the fact that I'm even still alive to believe it. The fact that I haven't crumbled under the pressure of this evil world trying to break me every single day with every single person. So this is how it works when you're a Christian. It's social despotism, basically. So I will, for instance, I'll like a person's post, an old friend that I've known my whole life, and I'll like it every time I see it. And I'll post posts, and they won't like any of them. If this applies to you, you know who you are. And I'm not trying to shame you. I get it. I'm a pariah. If you were to associate with me, then you would be set on the same page of being friends with somebody